Bitcoin continues to play with a new all-time high. And of course, isn't everything a new all-time high when everybody's in profit? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show, because it's morning somewhere, which means it's time to wake up and smell the crypto, my friends. My name is Evan. I'm so glad you're here. If you're just seeing me for the first time, then welcome. We do this show every day, Monday through Thursday at 7:30. I want to say 7:30. At 7 Central Standard Time, which is why it's, you get the fresh made up face for the studio audience. Until about 8:30 Central Standard Time, we take questions, try to share helpful information, headlines beyond hype, and generally improve your understanding of what the heck is going on with cryptocurrency. What the heck is Bitcoin? What is blockchain? Why does it matter? I am joined every day by my co-host and good friend, Mr. Alex Popovich. We've been doing this for a while. We live here, we work here, and we are so sick and tired of the bad crypto content that is available on TikTok. We're trying to do something about it by bringing it straight to the people. So thank you for joining us. We know you have a lot of options for your time and attention, and we appreciate you being here with us. We are that'll help you navigate this. And then we'll answer your questions. So if you've got questions, leave them below. Feel free to share this with a friend who's curious about crypto. Give the screen a tap if you want to do something to support the show. And again, thank you for being here, especially to all our OG friends. Alex, man, it's great to see you. I was stumbling and fumbling my way through the intro again, and I'm pretty sure I said we started 7:30 and had to correct myself twice. So,
Well, you'll have that sometimes.
yeah, it might be my subconscious mind telling me, hey man, go to bed earlier.
Is this your creative way of telling me that you're sick of getting up so early?
No, although I was thinking about, what if next week, how would you feel about taking 1 or 2 days off? One, I was initially thinking we could catch up on sleep, but then two, I was thinking we could get some of that administrative work done that
Yeah.
we really need to do to take everything to the next level. I know we've got our stuff planned, meeting planned Thursday this week after the show, but we can talk about it more then. I just don't want to leave people hanging. And I'd love
Yeah.
to give them some of the things we've been talking about, because I know it'll really just make the show that much better.
Yeah, I could be convinced.
You can be convinced? Okay. Well, that's what I like to hear. Man, what do you think? Back and forth, back and forth. Are we gonna break a new all time high today? Is today gonna be the day, or are we going straight back to the bottom?
So I've been saying for a while that like I was getting nervous. It was like only green and you needed a red day. Um because, if you're in crypto and you are not experiencing a day every now and then in a bull run where you're like, "Oh god, what have I done? I've made a terrible mistake." Then have you really lived? The answer is no.
Yeah.
And so yesterday, it looks red and everyone's panicking and freaking out, and there's the classic fear based videos all come out from all of your favorite creators, and then it's all like it's back to normal. We're done. It was like not even 24 hours, and Bitcoin, back over 66,000. Although it's dropping right before my very eyes in the last hour.
Yeah.
So I think
I
we're kind
noticed
of
that. Who turned that? Who turned that switch?
well. I mean, it's a little bit of a range, right? Things have to range a little bit. Nothing is flat except for XRP. Um,
Yeah, I,
dude,
I noticed on CoinMarketCap, before we got on, I was checking to see like what did I miss while I was sleeping, and I noticed that in the last hour we've dropped between 2% and 3%, 2.5% and 3%, and in the last 24, we've dropped just a skosh more.
mhm.
So our last hour has been aggressive, um, and I wanted to mention for people watching, especially if you're like, whoa, who are these guys? Not seeing you on my page in a long time or whatever, to check out Alex's most recent video. I've been loving the kind of style of content. Your content has really matured, like in the creation of it, the way that you frame it, the way that you approach it, the way you edit it. I think it's really evolving in a great way.
It was time.
And
It was time to
I,
mix it up a little bit.
yeah, man. And I love the last video you did about, here's what to know if this is your first crypto bull run. I thought you gave some really good tips. And not that I want you to give away everything so people don't have to go to your profile, but one of those tips was uh, pay attention to panic, which I thought was really helpful. A more helpful way to say, don't panic. It's to say, no, panic. Don't deny your panic.
Yeah.
So good job, man. And anybody who is here, go support that video because that's a message that a lot of people should hear.
Yeah, I figured it's those are lessons that cost me a lot of money to learn. So what cost me tens of thousands of dollars, literally, you can get for free in about a minute and a half. So, that's what that was for. But yeah, I mean, I didn't make any videos for a long time, and because I talk about I shouldn't say talk. I whine about this all the time, and I'm sorry, but just like generally feeling largely disenfranchised by all of crypto, because there's like a couple tropes that are common in the space, right? There's like no, I am here for the tech, and then you're really not, or you don't really know anything about it, or you like to pretend that you do to get people to listen to you, and then it's more of the same, or you're an investment advisor that nobody asked for, and then there's very little deviation from that stereotype. So I kind of just quit because I was like, no, I mean, I don't know anything about investing. Well, I shouldn't say that. I know very little about investing. And I do genuinely think that the technology behind this stuff is pretty cool. But there's zero appetite for that kind of a conversation. There just isn't. So I just didn't do anything for a while. And then finally it just took me a while to be like, you know what? Who cares? Who gives a shit what you're talking about? That's the best time to experiment with content. If your views are just in the absolute toilet and you're like, well, shit, if they're not getting seen anyway, what's the worst that's going to happen? And honestly, the one thing that was a turning point was this one guy who makes actually helpful content about making better content. And he was just like, dude, what's the worst that's going to happen with a bad video? No one's going to watch it. And
yeah,
I was just like,
Ken, isn't his name Kenneth also?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I'd have to find him, and
I feel like I saw that same video and it moved me too.
I was just like, yeah, that's true. Because you have this stupid fear that you're going to post a stupid video and then everyone's going to see it. And it's like, no, that's not going to happen. If the video sucks, it's not going to get views. No one's going to watch it. So you might as well just put out whatever you want.
Post it, man. Yeah. Well, it's going well for you, I think. So today you want to talk a little about the Blockchain Explorer? Yeah. This week we've kind of been we've serendipitously found our way into exploration of a couple of tools that will just take your ability to navigate all the stuff we've discussed a little further, help you start building confidence with blockchain. And we're taking it to the Bible today, as it were, the Blockchain Explorer. Alex, if people are not using a Blockchain Explorer, if they're new or old, why should they be using this tool? What is it doing?
So one of the biggest benefits of blockchain in general is that it puts the information that is normally hidden, or at least, obfuscated by banks, on a public ledger so that anybody can look at it and anybody can see it. That's like the groundbreaking part of all of this, that like the information about these networks is immediately verifiable by anybody anywhere in the world anytime, whenever they want, and you cannot lie about it. It is untamperable. I always say, unless you manage to hack every single computer on the face of the earth at the exact same time, in which case we have way bigger problems than the ledger.
Right.
So reading a blockchain explorer is the way that you don't have to take someone like me's word for what's happening. You can just go look it up yourself and see if you are being told the truth. So I maintain that reading an explorer is the single most important skill that you can have in Web3, and it is 1,000 times easier than you think it is. Even on these crappy explorers with terrible UXs and mediocre interfaces, it is just not that complicated to get information about these things. And you should, so like before you buy literally anything, if you are not interested in the technology and you are seriously just interested in this as an asset class, something to invest in, because the returns are potentially way greater than they are in other asset classes, all of which is true, you should still learn this skill, because you should be able to do a quick check into something you're considering an investment in and get the raw facts, the hard data about the thing before you go into it. So I would say no matter why you're here, this is the most important skill.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And I would just simply add that it's easy. Easy, it will become easier in the sense that anybody, anywhere who knows how to use Google can learn how to use the blockchain explorer the same kind of way. You're going to look for the same kind of stuff in different blockchain explorers. Now, I do want to address this because I saw you comment on it too. I wonder if this is something we can solve with the blockchain explorer. Millie, I'd be really interested to know what happened with your wallet. Our friend Millie is in the audience. Welcome. And says that all of the NFTs in her collection were burnt. And burnt is a term that is commonly used to mean sent to a wallet whose private key has been destroyed, or which makes the things inside the wallet otherwise irretrievable. And usually that's the kind of thing that can only happen in two scenarios that I can think of, Alex, both of which you can see on a blockchain explorer. Scenario one would be if you yourself had signed some kind of transaction that gave someone else permission to move assets in your wallet. Sometimes you do this when you're buying, selling, transferring, bridging crypto assets. Usually it's conditional. Sometimes scammers will get you to sign something that makes it unconditional, permanent. And two, the other one would be if you hold a token whose contract has rules about who can move that token to include people who created it. For example, the creator of the token may retain the right to move it, in which case they can remove it from your wallet, even if you've bought it, even if you've purchased it. Tokens obey their contract. And so that's, I mean, just baffling to me. I'm really, really sorry about that, though. Millie says, I've been at my doctor's almost 3 months and have not touched that wallet. They were burnt for cents, so I got scared and deleted the wallet. It's on Phantom. Oh, my. Everything was burnt. I couldn't claim. This is terrible.
That's really strange. I have never heard of that happening.
Millie, we're friends on Discord, I think, and I bet you could send me that wallet if you have the ability to do it now. I would really love to know what that wallet's public address is because I would be really curious to see what happened. And that would be a good one. We'd be looking at SoulScan because it's a Solana wallet, and we could certainly dig around and find some stuff. So send me that if you've got it. And in the meantime, um, Alex, where do you think we should start? Because
In
there are a
general,
million ways we could take it.
for what? For Millie's thing, or
Oh no, for looking
I'm
for
just
looking
I'm
at
just
the
opening like every single explorer I can find, and then we're gonna do a quick go through. So I'm just trying to get the big ones all pulled up here.
gotcha.
So
And
I can,
actually, I'm gonna pull up. Millie made a good suggestion. She said you can check the NFT. I bought one of her NFTs, and I believe I've got it. Hang on, let me switch over from the Big Pepe wallet to my social wallet. And let me see. If I can pull that up. Yep, here we go. Chromatail. So, all right. So here's something I will show us while Alex is pulling that up by way of like all of this infrastructure is connected. The blockchain is just, the ledger at the base of it all. It is just a bunch of zeros and ones exchanging information between members of the network. Everybody on Bitcoin is trading zeros and ones with everybody else on the Bitcoin network. And your wallet, your blockchain explorer, all of these things are just user interfaces to make it easier to read what is happening on that ledger, on your magic notebook, remember? And one of those interface tools, everybody does it a little differently, is going to look like this. If I want to start to find some information about crypto assets in my possession, I might go to a wallet. Here's my wallet. This is a Phantom wallet. It's got a, pretty standard wallet interface where I always think it's interesting they show you dollar signs for your crypto tokens. I bet that will be different in the future. This little square looking photo album guy is a scaleomorphic way to say, here are your NFTs, all your images. And here's one that I have from Millie. So when I click on this, it's different in every wallet, but usually there are some more options, and one of them will show something like this. It says view on Soul Scan. It might say view on Blockchain Explorer. And that's going to be where we're going to start to find a lot of the information we need. So the very first thing I want to draw your attention to is that this is the website, SoulScan.io, and it has queried a particular token, and that's the identification of this token right here. And you can see I've got this asset overview. This is the metadata that the creator has given it, that Millie has given it here. It's got, some attributes, some creators. Here's the token address. That's my wallet, I do believe. Let me see. Is that my wallet? Nope. That must be just the token. Let me see. Let me see what else is in there. I don't go on SoulScan a lot, so this would be great for me. I can see who has the authority to mint these tokens. This is a wallet address. I can see if there's freeze authority and if there's update authority. In a lot of contracts, what you're looking to check is that this is what would be a dead or burnt wallet. If a token is able to be updated, if a token is able to be frozen, especially if it's a fungible token, then you might be concerned that somebody is going to change your asset. You rely on them. You trust them not to. I see Millie says in the comments, that's my wallet. That's been frozen. This 9AH wallet, Millie, I'm going to click into it. I see. So the fact, oh, Alex ran away. Oh, okay. I got you. The fact that Millie has a frozen address, or excuse me, has freeze authority for these tokens means if Millie wasn't my friend, that would potentially be a red flag for me on this kind of contract. But there are lots and lots and lots of reasons you would want to have freeze authority. I'm looking at this, and hang on, I'm going to flip you back to me because I'll make some really interesting, puzzling faces until I figure out what's going on here. I'm just looking at, I see loot boxes. I see minting. I see, there's a lot of stuff here that I'm just not certain about. Alex, can I send this to you?
Yep.
Okay. Get on it with me. And part of this too is maybe a good lesson for somebody like Solana. how do they classify stuff? I don't know who does it at Solana. I don't know who does it at SoulScan. Oh, I just sent it to the group chat. Everyone thinks I'm going to send them on a treasure hunt. Hang on, I'll send it to your chat too, and then clear it out so they don't think I'm trying to fish them. Strange keys just show up in your chat. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I delete it for that it froze. You're scared someone would do. So I don't. That's what I'm trying. So that's what I'm trying to find. It sounds like Millie unknowingly has somehow experienced the freezing of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened to trigger the freezing of the contract, and I'm curious because usually when you create a contract for a set of tokens or non-fungible tokens, you will at that time, whether you're coding it by hand or you are toggling a switch, and did you mint these on SolSea, Millie, or something like that? If you did, you probably checked a box that said revoke mint authority or freeze authority, meaning this wallet can't do that.
How
In
many?
order to change that, you might have, I'm sorry, Alex, go ahead.
How many
You
are we
got
talking about? Because I only see a few,
a few what?
like total transactions. Everything
I
there's
see.
chunks of stuff. It was either a chunk of stuff happened 3 days ago and another chunk of stuff happened 3 months ago.
Yeah, same. Um, and the first transaction I see 3 days ago is um, by a different wallet that's not this account. The compute budget set compute unit price.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna, I don't know, look a little more into that transaction or see who that person is. And let me see this too.
Yeah, because I'm not really seeing very much activity here. Um, 1, 2, 3. Change that one.
And I'm trying to find a good lead. I never transfer anything because it's no money for pay fee there. Let me catch up on your comments. No, Evan, I was a newbie. I had the same contract that Lisa did. What I'm looking for, and I bet what Alex is looking for too, is first of all, I'm just trying to get my head around what's been going on in this wallet from the beginning of time. I'd like to see. It's still unclear to me if this is the wallet whether this is the wallet that created the tokens, created the contract, but
Mm-hmm.
Millie says it's her wallet.
I'm just
You
trying
know
to
what I mean
figure
when I
out
say that, Alex?
which.
Is that clear? Like if SolC is the program I use to create the contract for some non-fungible tokens, then they are the owners of the wallet. They are the creators of the wallet. They might transfer ownership to me. Usually, it'll show them as the authors um, or owners. In Solana, it's called the token program.
Yeah. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing like a mass exodus of things leaving this wallet. I don't see any of that.
No, and I'm not seeing a leaving of things. Um, and I'm not seeing any kind of signature that makes me.
Yeah, I think we'd have to get a little bit more information, and then my hunch is that, like Evan said, nothing happened to this wallet. Something happened to the contract that you wrote to make something.
That's
because
what I'm thinking
there
too.
is no max exited of stuff being like withdrawn from this wallet or leaving. There's a couple transfers a few days ago, but it's, it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I have to get some more information.
Yeah. Um, oh, Alex, here's what it is. Check this out. Check this out. I see when I look at this interface, so I see different interfaces for different types of accounts. And this
Yep.
is my lack of knowledge with the Solana Explorer coming into play. So when I look at Millie's account, which is this one here that she said had mint authority, etc., I see transactions, SOL transfers,
Yep.
SPL transfers, portfolio, stake accounts, domains. This is just the Explorer's way of classifying different transactions so you're not sifting through a bunch of crap. When I go to SPL transfers, this is what it is calling NFTs. I looked on another wallet and it had, SPL's portfolio. You can look like tokens, NFTs, CNFTs. But in this case, SPL transfers, I do see some. I see 3 days ago that it looks like, Alex, tell me if you see this. It looks like 3 months ago, this wallet engaged with a token called Scammer Token Beware.
I saw that.
And it's after that transaction that these other NFTs left the wallet. And I have some Scammer Token Bewares in my wallet too. And what I'm thinking is that that's the Solana networks, the Phantom Wallets user interface way of alerting you to tokens that should not be engaged with. I wonder if in interacting with and engaging with that token, something was signed, some permission was granted.
Yeah, it could be.
But Alex is right. It's tough to follow this particular trail, maybe without being able to talk to you a little better, Millie. Um, I sure am sorry that this happened to you. Um, okay, so let's get people back up to speed so they can be where we are, because I realize
Yep.
that though we've got a lot of folks watching here, there are probably a lot of requisites we need to go over, and I'm trying to think of what the best way to start it is.
Well, all right, let's catch up here.
Yeah, catch up. If you're just joining us, we are we're working on the blockchain explorer. We're trying to figure out how to navigate the blockchain from zero. And creating, Paul, thank you for asking. I'm not sure what interview you're referring to. Alex made a video. If I said interview, it's because I'm tired and it's early. His last video on his profile is a great watch. Most of his videos are a great watch. So give him a follow and check it out. It's, what is it, 6 tips, Alex? If this is your first bull run, it'll
Yeah,
take you a minute and 30 seconds, and it's going to be well worth your time. $10,000 lessons for sure.
tens of thousands of dollars
Tens
worth
of
of
thousands
lessons.
of dollars lessons.
Um, all right. Well, I think we should just start. I usually start with Etherscan because it's the classic. It's also, in my humble opinion, one of the most logically laid out blockchain explorers.
Agree.
Some of the other ones, like digging around on SoulScan right now, is making me angsty because I don't really care for the way that it's set up. So here's another just little tip before we get into this. I'm going to use one of the explorers for each of the chains that we do a quick little check into here. There are multiple. Blockchain explorers there's usually more than one option. Etherscan for Ethereum is just the most popular, but there are other ones. These things are, created by the community and maintained, and just kind of open source protocols for looking at the blockchain. But like for most of these things, no one in particular is like charged with maintaining it. There's a few like that are more centralized in their maintenance of their explorers. But in general, there are usually multiple options, and it would sort of just be like the difference between searching for something on Google versus searching for it on Bing versus searching for it on whatever. Um, they all search essentially the same stuff, but you might get presented the information in a slightly different way, or it might be in a slightly different order, or it might prioritize more stuff over other stuff, whatever. So just keep that in mind, that if you really hate the one you're looking at, there's probably another option. Because these things are not necessarily known for being the world's most user-friendly websites. But let me...
And that's a huge area for innovation, by the way, is if you're like somebody who wants to build something, who wants to invest, and you're like, sick of timing the market, but you want to invest in yourself and your community and your skills, you could build a better blockchain explorer and do everyone in the whole wide world a big service. Honestly, truly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to try to go back and forth here between moving my camera to point at stuff a little bit more easily, because I recognize that you probably can't really read much of what I'm looking at right now.
Is there a general website? You went to, this is just the homepage of Etherscan, right?
Correct. This is etherscan.io.
So if you go here, you can see what Alex is seeing if you're watching on YouTube or something like that after the fact. I'm here too, yes. Alex, if you need me to take over and do like camera stuff.
So essentially, this is just the homepage. Like I said, etherscan.io. This is the one we're going to check out first. And oh my God, my mouse is, of course, having a fit. Perfect timing. So couple little things up here. Obviously, we have a bunch of different ways that we can scroll through some various Explorer tools. If you just wanted to do a mass search of NFTs on the blockchain in question, you can do that here. Looks like they have a couple token standards stuck up here, or actually that's a lie. They only have ERC20s categorized here. Blockchain, we can sort out. So right now, if we're just looking down here, we're going to see everything. But if you were only interested in a particular kind of transaction, it looks like they now have an option up here where you can sort through that too. But what we're interested in is what I think most people will end up using this thing for in general. So let's, Evan, I'll ask you, give us the example. Actually, you know what? I lied. I don't want your example. I have my own.
Okay, great.
I always use this one as my example because it's such a good example of so many things.
Okay, good.
Okay, so right here, we're just going to search for an Ethereum token, and we're going to go get some information about it. I always use Cold Stack. The ticker is CLS for my example, because it is a legitimate project that's doing cool stuff, but the way that they have a few things organized is a little bit red flaggy. So it's a good place to get like some contrasting data. So all right. We search for Cold Stack, CLS. It's going to take us to a page that looks like this. This is the homepage for the token. So we can get all sorts of information here. We are default looking at transfers. You can see here, there's a couple other things we can look at tab-wise. So we can get the holders tab, basic info tab, off exchange, so DEX stuff. We can read the contract if we want to, and we can get Etherscan's little nice presentation of the analytics of the project.
And we're also default looking at them in chronological order, right?
Yes, you are default looking at them. The top one is the most recent. So if you look
again, I just don't think it can be overstated. The reason it's this way is because that's what a blockchain is. It is a list of transactions in order, grouped together by blocks. They're the pages in the notebook. These are the pages of the notebook.
Correct. Yeah. At the end of the day, blockchain is actually really simple. It's literally just a list. It's a database. It's a list of transactions. The special thing about it, though, is that no one has singular controlling authority over what it says. It's agreed upon by the group who is using it. So this is a much smaller one. So, for example, in the history of Cold Stack, there have only been 41,838 transactions. If we were to just contrast that and look at a bigger...
with like Ethereum or something?
Yep. So let's just look at Polygon. Well, I don't know why it default took me to a weird version of wrapped Polygon, but
But even Wrapped Polygon probably has more transactions, I would be willing to bet. And while Alex is doing that, I know he's going to, well, I'll wait till you get there.
Get there.
And I'll answer a question. Millie, I don't know that you can, this is exactly how you can prove you've been scammed, because it's going to give you the different information about the transactions that have been happening in your wallet. Alex is going to get into it in just a second, what specifically we can look for and what this is going to tell you. So stay tuned. Go ahead, Alex.
So just to compare, here is the token page for the Ethereum version of Tether, USDT, nice. Which is the most heavily traded cryptocurrency on the planet. 223 million some odd transactions have been found. Yeah. And this is even only displaying the last 10,000 records. So there's a lot more.
I guarantee there are more. That's interesting. The last 10,000, that seems to be a magic number for blockchains, blockchain explorers, and what they will display.
So yeah, it's kind of a little bit of an annoying thing. If you're like trying to dig, way far back into the beginning, the information is available, but you have to try a little harder to get it. Most of these things, just for the sake of storing, data and not losing their entire net worth to just data hosting, they don't just permanently store all of the information for every single transaction, but the blockchain does. I'm not the one to describe the process of fetching past the previous 10,000. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel is the one. So if you wanted to know more about how to go past that mark, I know Willem has done it for me on Multiverse X before, but I would have to get some details about exactly how you go back farther than that. For the
I would have no idea. I would call somebody who manages a node and be like, "Guy, help me."
Okay, so let's go back to our example one here. There we go. All right, so this is going to be the same for every single Ethereum token. Okay, again, we're using cold stacking as an example. Here we've got the basic overview. So we have what's our total supply, 50 million. There are 3,955 holders. There have been a total of 41,838 transfers. Here's a little bit of market information. It's currently trading at a price of 23 cents per token, which looks like it's down about 8%. I'm assuming that's a 24-hour percentage decrease or increase, but I'm honestly not positive. We could look that up. Here is their current circulating supply, the current circulating supplies market cap. So as you can see, it's quite small. And then if it was fully diluted, what that market cap is. This is all information that you can also get from CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, coin whatever cap. It's just also included here on the Explorer.
And it's nice to have it kind of in that dashboard view when you're looking for different transactions, especially if what you're looking at is like a fungible liquid token.
Remind me to come back to this. We've never really specifically covered what fully diluted versus circulating market cap is, but we can.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay,
we can hit that in a second. Okay, so again, now that we come down here, and again, you can apply this to any single token you're interested in, and I definitely recommend doing this for whatever you're considering buying before you consider buying it, or as part of your consideration. So here's the transfers, and every single one of these is the same. Okay, so we have a hash. This is the unique number assigned to this transaction to keep it separate from other transactions. This number is the number that, if you wanted to pull up the record of a transaction that happened prior to the last 10,000 and you have the hash, your job just got a whole lot easier because you can go to any of the explorers and just search the hash and it'll pull up the record for you. It gets a little more complicated if you don't know what the hash is. Anyway, what was it? So here we can see there's a couple of different styles or a couple of different specific transactions that can be kept a record of. Block, which block is this a part of? How long ago did it happen? From where did it originate? So this would be the address or the contract address of the thing that started whatever this transaction was. And actually, this is a new feature. If you highlight an address and it pops up somewhere else, it auto highlights it on the rest of the page. That's kind of cool. So you can see All of these are the same,
Wow.
which is actually really handy because one of the things you'll notice a lot with NFT collections is fake volume when they just trade back and forth between like the same 6 wallets. So that's kind of a cool little visual addition there. I like that a lot. So from and to, who is this transaction between, and then how much, in this case, how much CLS was being transacted. Okay,
Now,
that's the
hang on.
transfer.
I want to point something out real quick.
Yeah.
Because you zoom in on the block. We've talked before about the transactions. Like all of these are line entries in your notebook, and the transactions are they're the individual entries that make up the pages, which are the blocks that are chained together to form this magic notebook. And you're noticing that like the transactions are in order 9 minutes ago, 47 minutes ago, going back through time, but the blocks appear to be out of sequence. Like there's one happening on block 49, one on 62, a couple on 62 next to each other, but then we go to 50, then we go to 30. Um, that was something that really confused me when I first started. And so there are a lot of reasons for that, and we can touch on them later. But I just wanted to address anybody who is saying just because you see that with the blocks does not mean that these
Mhm.
transactions are happening out of sequence, out of order. Um, I don't know enough about all the different types of architecture to explain why it happens, but there could be different confirmation times. It could be um, a block initially by the network became what's called orphaned. I just wanted to point out that it's not a cause for concern. Alex, if you want to go into it more, we can. But
That's a
it
Daniel
really
question
threw
right
me
there.
off when I was trying to understand at first.
Yep. No, that's a Daniel question if I've ever heard one. Exactly what causes all of that.
And I don't know that we need to go into it today because I think it's
No,
like
we can put a pin
there
in
are
it.
some really good answers, and we can go into it, but you know, I don't think it's just don't let it throw
I
you
will
off. Is what
say
I'd say.
too, just while we're on the topic here, all of this stuff, the most important thing you can learn besides how to use all of it is how to phrase what it is that you're looking at, because tools like Gemini and ChatGPT are invaluable for getting a better explanation of this.
Yeah,
I use it a lot when I'm either like writing a video and I'm so the mark of a great teacher is being able to explain something to somebody. The mark
yes,
of a teacher who still has something to learn is, yes, you can understand it, but conveying that information to someone else is sometimes challenging.
yeah,
Uh, so in those instances, I use the AI tools like ChatGPT to like, hey, I'm trying to explain finality to somebody. Can you put it in terms that a 10-year-old would understand? And then read it there, and that usually leads me to be able to think of a better way to phrase stuff if I'm struggling with like how to put it into simpler terms or something like that. So pro tip: if something that I'm saying is super confusing, and you can either put a pin in it and ask me about it later, or you can ask ChatGPT or something to explain how a blockchain works like I'm 10. And you will be surprised at how good the explanations can get.
I tried it for this and it wasn't that good. I'm switching to Bard or whatever the hell it's
Dude,
called now.
I'm blown away by how much better Gemini is right now than ChatGPT is, to the point where like I might rotate and stop subscribing. Although I'm spoiled with Dolly and GPT-4 and all that kind of stuff, so we'll see. But jury's
I'm
out.
thinking about it. Anyway, I derailed you.
Okay.
Please keep taking us on this journey.
Anyway, so we are now, just in case you're just joining us, we're learning how to use a blockchain explorer. We're examining this token right here and trying to make the determination of whether or not we think that this is a buy or not. I use cold stack every single time I need an example because it's a really good one to spark an internal debate with yourself. Okay, so we just went through transfers. It's the first tab. Next, we're going to go over to holders. I would argue that holders is top 2 most important categories that you can look at on a blockchain explorer. So this is going to give us all of the information about who holds and how much they hold and what exactly are the conditions of the tokens that they hold. Okay, so we've got the top 1,000 holders are going to be displayed here from a total of 3,955 holders. This is kind of cool. They added this a little while ago. But if you're more of a visual person, you can see this nice little pie chart breaking down of the top 100 holders. Got some addresses here, a little explanation down here of exactly what it is that we're looking at. For example, so here's a great visual of the first red flag that we're going to encounter. This 30% chunk of the token supply is in the same wallet. That's a massively concentrated supply of the token, all sitting in the same place. So here is red flag number 1. Red flag number 2, 16% is sitting in this wallet. And then red flag number 3, actually that one, ooh, cool. Okay, so this has started to change a little bit. This is being held, here's 8.5%, which is still a huge chunk of supply. But this is an exchange wallet, so they've got this identified for us now. This
and Alex, just real quick, so go down to the list version of it and show people. I don't know that we said this. We explained that hashes are like the name for each individual transaction. That's what you call an event on the blockchain. It's a hash for our terms. It refers to the string of letters and numbers that identify that occurrence on the ledger. Some addresses you will see, like this MEXC and this Uniswap address, are so well active, so well known, so recognized by the protocols that this explorer is using, that they have taken the pains to label them for you. Yep. This is a super helpful thing for credibility.
Yep. Yeah, it just makes it a little bit easier. I mean, we can be looking at these gigantic addresses all day long and not know what they mean. So if we're going to be seeing a shitload of transactions from Binance, from Coinbase, from MEXC, from Uniswap, from whatever, it just makes all of our lives a little bit easier.
Yeah, instead of making Alex scared that wallet has 8%, it might make him think, oh, it's great that a noteworthy exchange has enough of this token to cover transactions or support the community and its function with.
Exactly. And this is one of those things too, that if I'm like, is that really MEXC? We could...
Yeah. I wonder what the requisite is to get a name displayed on a blockchain explorer. Like, I'm sure they have a blue check mark process that's probably better than TikTok's.
Yeah, it's essentially that. We can go here, we can examine, don't worry about being able to see it, but we can do the same thing and we can see a total transfer breakdown, info, contract, analytics, whatever. Yeah. Total balance, how much that's worth, contract address, blah, 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 all of this various information about this wallet that we're curious about. All sorts of basically amplifying proof that we are indeed looking at the wallet belonging to an exchange. Okay. Of course, that brings me to an important point. If at any point you see one of these things and you're just like, what the hell is this? Like we're going to do in just a second here, because this wallet, we want to know what this is. So this random wallet,
that big old wallet,
is holding 30% of the supply. That, as a potential investor, that scares me. Because if this person decides to dump that supply on the market, for lack of a better word, price go down. So we want to know what the deal is with that. The other thing that I'm going to draw your attention to real quick is if you look at these, you'll notice a difference between, for example, number 4 and number 5. And actually number 5 and number 6. These are both good examples. So this little deal right here indicates that this wallet, the Uniswap version 2 CLS to USDC pool wallet, is under contract. That means that somebody is not singularly in control of what this wallet does. Now, because this is Uniswap, because this is a decentralized exchange, because there is not a person, Mr. Uniswap, at the Uniswap headquarters who has his finger on the button of Uniswap, we can debate degrees of centralization at a later point, but for the sake of this conversation, this is a decentralized protocol. It would be real weird if this wasn't under contract, which means that a smart contract is governing this wallet, which means that code is telling this wallet what to do. Versus here, these are just wallets. This could be Evan. For all we know, this could be a single person who has the keys to this wallet that can do whatever they want with the contents of this wallet. And again, the reason this is a red flag is because this wallet right here, number 1, is not under contract like Uniswap's wallet is. And again, they're holding 30% of the supply. So this is just even more of a red flag. Okay, and that's kind of why I like to use cold stack as an example, and you'll see a little bit more in just a second. Yeah, and it is a lot of information. Don't think that you need to remember every single piece of it. This is exactly why we're starting the newsletter, because it would be way easier to link out to a short slide presentation on how to do this, or put a specific video in and link it in the newsletter, that kind of stuff. So
yeah. I'm thinking at a later time we could do this, you and I, on like
yes,
StreamYard, where you can
yes,
share your screen and have your face in video and pop it on YouTube. If
absolutely.
people would like that, we can make a much friendlier video. This is the down and dirty version.
This
Everyone's
is
gonna be like counting my nose hairs because I'm like
this is the janky version where I'm weeble wobbling my phone all over the place, trying to show you guys my dusty ass screen, as I'm like, all right, now can you read these tiny letters?
Yeah, right, exactly.
As everything flips around, and yeah, so don't worry about it. We're just trying to get some basic stuff.
Yeah,
down here.
we're just looking at the basics. Your assignment, is going to be to go check out Etherscan and just click around a little yourself and bring us back your questions too, for sure.
Yeah, this is the other beautiful thing about these explorers. Like Evan just said, just go to Etherscan and start poking around, because you're not going to mess anything up. All you're doing is reading. This is a read-only kind of thing. You're not going to accidentally connect your wallet and send all your shit away on get scammed or whatever. This is literally just a place that you can go completely anonymously and just read, and you will learn a lot. Okay, so holders. Anyway, I keep talking about this wallet. So let's look at this.
No, okay, so let's look at this wallet. This is the Cold Stack Whale, and it could be me. We don't know.
Yep, it could be Evan. Okay, so overview. Same kind of thing. When you click into something, you will still have these boxes up here, the overview of whatever we're looking at. So, actually, no. You know what? I take it back. They didn't give us any new information up there, so never mind. I was really excited for a second. I thought that they added that as a feature as well, but no luck. Okay. Underneath here, we have filtered by token holder. So here's the address we're looking at. They are holding 15 million cold stack tokens, which is at today's price worth $3.4 million, or approximately 900 ETH, which is 30%. There has been one single transaction in the history of this wallet. It was 1,027 days ago. It's from the cold stack deployer, which is an identified contract that created the cold stack token and first sent it out into the universe. They sent it to this address, so ending in BF8, which we can confirm, BF8, that's what we're looking at. And nothing has moved since. Okay, so this is now a pink flag. It's downgraded from red because I'm quite confident that because this is 1,027 days ago is literally when cold stack launched. So on day one of this project existing, the deployer wallet sent a cool 30% of the supply to this wallet. Why? I have no clue. I couldn't tell you what the purpose of this wallet's existence is. I don't know why it's not under contract. That is why I still have some questions. I would still love to get an explanation someday as to why this wallet is set up the way that it is. It should be under contract. Perhaps it's a wallet where they, meant to lock up the supply for a certain number of years before sending it to a contract to do something else with it. We don't know. What we do know is that at least this is not, a single scammer person's wallet. It's affiliated with the project somehow. It's just not set up ideally, in my humble opinion. If we are then looking here, we can click over to info. We can get some information about this token that it's holding. It's a decentralized cloud storage. Okay, we don't care about any of that right now. All right. Backing up, let's look at something else. Today, Junior. There we go. All right, so let's check out one of these. Let's look at the Uniswap wallet because this one is under contract. So again, we have this little tiny document icon here. That means the wallet's under contract. Life, I have never inquired, but I could. Maybe today's show is the impetus to DM them and ask them about that wallet.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm explaining the situation to GPT. Wish it was Gemini, and I wanted to. You didn't point this out, but there's a button that says transfers info, and there's a third button What's that button say?
We're going to get to it right now.
Okay, great. That's the button
Contract?
I'm checking. I have asked GPT to check the contract to see
Yep.
if this particular wallet has a role to play in the ecosystem. So don't let me get ahead of you, but just know that's why I'm being quiet over here. That's what I'm doing.
Yep. So Evan is exactly right, and that is exactly why we're looking at the Uniswap address here to see what's special about this one, because Uniswap is also holding this wallet at least 5% of the supply. Now, 5% may seem like a small number, but in crypto terms, that's a huge number. That's a huge chunk of the supply. People can move the price of a small token like this because, I mean, let's just confirm real quick here. Look at CoinGecko. Dude, CLS. Come on, Gecko.
Gecko.
Or about Ethereum Classic. The Gecko is letting me down. There we go. Okay. So let's see. The market cap of this project is $4.1 million. That is quite small in crypto terms. 4 million is obviously a tremendous amount of money. But in crypto, when you have stuff like Pepe rocking a market cap of $3.5 billion, this is nothing. So anyway, going back over to the Explorer here. All that to say that 5% is pretty significant. So we still want to check into it. Like Evan said, we have this tab right here for contract. Now, don't feel bad if you don't know what any of this stuff means, because I don't either. This is all of the code associated with the contract that this wallet is using. This is the contract source code for whatever wallet it is that we're looking at. And what Evan is doing is just, I assume, copy-pasting this code into ChatGPT and asking it to help us analyze it and see what it is we're looking at. Because I don't know about you, but I certainly can't read Solidity. So
now the titles are helpful, though. Once you have learned a little bit of this stuff, hang on, I'm gonna have to send this in like one more message.
No worries. You do your thing. We'll come back to that specific part here. The point is, though, that if we wanted to check for ourselves the validity of however Uniswap is securing this wallet with 5% in it, we can get that information here. And then if we have the ability to decipher it, we can. Or, one of the things that this is just me personally, this is just my opinion. When I see this, I feel better because I know that there are lots of developers and lots of code auditors who are out there that do read stuff like this and let it be known when they find problems. So the fact that all of the information is open does make me feel a little bit better. It's still, none of these things by themselves are deal makers or breakers. They all just sort of contribute to my overall, feeling of the project in question. So we can also, this is new, Evan. So they used to, under contract, there didn't used to be these buttons. So we've got the code button and we've got this, which is read contract.
Really?
There's no...
Are they about to put GPT out of a job faster than Gemini?
This is kind of cool. I'll have to...
What are you...
I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at yet. I'm gonna have to look at this. Connect.
Okay, well, I'm almost done over here, so I'm going to give people an update on what this is.
What do you think this magical button does, Evan?
Connect to Web3. I don't know. It looks like a portal, man.
Connect to Web3.
Is Web3 in the room with us right now?
That's really funny. Anyway,
I couldn't love a button more. I would like to get maybe I'll get a sticker or a pin that we can put in our shop that will say connect to Web3 with like a little click icon or something. That would be lovely, frankly.
Anyway, I'm gonna turn us back around here, and then we'll see what Evan has been able to uncover over there through the use of AI. But just to recap, because this was a lot and it took a while, and it wasn't the single most linear explanation I've ever given in my life. Etherscan is the blockchain explorer that we are currently looking at, and I'll show you a couple other examples in just a second. We are analyzing the token cold stack CLS. We have some basic information up top. As we get down, we get the blockchain related information. So we can see all of the transfers. We can get, oh, I'm sorry. I'm one page ahead of myself here. There we go. We can get the transfers. We can get the holders. We can get basic project information. We can get a couple other things. We've got, specific trades. We've got the contract source code that we were just looking at, and we've got general project analytics, spikes in volume, all that sort of stuff. And this kind of stuff changes, like we've already found a couple today just in the last month or so since I've looked at this, with a few new features that have been added. So it's good to check back every now and then and just sort of, refresh yourself. And you can obviously search up here for any ERC20 token. So if we wanted to go get some information about something like Hex, a pretty controversial project, we could go do the same thing. And you'll notice it's set up the exact same way. Basic overview, information here, holder breakdown. I've always found this to be interesting, that the Pulse X sacrifice wallet that he just told everyone to send all their money to is not under contract, and it's holding 42% of the supply of Hex, worth a cool $2 billion, just casually in an unsecured wallet. But hey, you know what? That's none of my business. So, like I alluded to, there are lots of explorers. SolScan is one of the ones you can use to look at the Solana blockchain. AvaScan will do the exact same thing for Avalanche. Subscan, here's one of the multiple explorers that you can use to search the Polkadot ecosystem. Multiverse X Explorer, the blockchain formerly known as Elrond. You can do all of your clicking around and explorations right here. Explorer.
I think if they put that on a t-shirt, it also would sell. And regarding Polkadot, just real quick, because I can't help myself, who's reading the Polkadot Explorer?
Dude, there's so many, because there's so many chains associated with Polkadot. Polkadot's have fun with that.
I just don't get it. I just don't get why nobody loves Polkadot except the people who are there.
They are a very sequestered little ecosystem.
Yeah, but it's great.
Cardano, here's two. Here's Cardano Scan. Here's also Cardano or explorer.cardano.org. And as we can see, they're going to be sunsetting this one. So there's a new one that they're going to link us out to. Here's the beta version. Okay, just getting a little refresh. There are multiple that you can use to search Bitcoin. Obviously, we've got Etherscan that we were just on. Polygon has its own. Whatever token it is that you're interested in, obviously make sure that you're looking at the correct blockchain. If I was looking for a Solana meme coin, I wouldn't find it on Etherscan because it's not on the Ethereum network, of course. And if for some reason the layer one that you're curious about doesn't have a blockchain explorer, that is a deal breaker. So let's turn this around here.
Okay. Now that you've given us a perfect, that was perfectly thorough yet concise. My brain is the appropriate amount of awake and melted. I want to, before I get into this code and before I bring you back to fully diluted versus circulating, because I think that's pretty well meant for like a deep dive for one day. But I have some suggestions and thoughts that I want yours and everyone's feedback on. What do you think? We're definitely putting this in the newsletter, a list of blockchain explorers, but I'm thinking for the first newsletter, we can do just a very short treasure hunt type assignment. That is like, go to this blockchain explorer, look up this token, and what is the address that holds the contract? What are the first three letters? Kind of thing. Like a 5 question quest that will get you in here, clicking the different stuff. Don't have to memorize it all, but maybe there's like a little POAP at the end waiting for you. Um,
Yep.
that could be cool. Or maybe there's a secret wallet with like 0.000001 Bitcoin or something. I don't know, $10.
I agree with the fried comments. I'm fried having explained that. So don't
I bet
worry
you are.
if you're fried. We're gonna write that up, and that exact lesson, but made more concise, will be in the very first newsletter. So if that is of interest to you, stay tuned.
Just the bullet points, and then maybe we can sit down in StreamYard and do like a both our faces quick ordered deep. And I don't know, and there might be a good video out there that we don't have to remake the wheel. Maybe we could just put it in the newsletter and redirect people.
I've made several. I have a few.
I mean, like one of those like hour-long YouTube videos with
Oh,
not that your videos aren't great. I think your videos are fantastic. You
yeah.
know,
No. There's the ones that I learned from. There are way better ones. So we'll get some good links and stuff. That's definitely going to be a piece of each edition too. Just an updated list of good resources. Fallen, the newsletter does not exist yet. Evan and I are setting it up this week, and it will go live next week. Is my plan.
yeah.
So there
It'll
will
be available at the link in our bio. We're gonna make it so simple.
Yeah,
Alex
we're
was
basically
like, Evan, we can't keep referring people to Discord by literally saying the URL three times during the show. I was like, yeah, you're right.
It's
so
terrible.
One link in the bio. The newsletter will have everything. It'll be like once a week, infrequent, brief, and valuable. I hate newsletters, man. I absolutely hate them. So stay tuned for that. We will absolutely blast it everywhere and do everything we can to help people find it and make it good.
It is also worth noting that this newsletter we're describing is free. We are tangling with the idea of a premium one later, but like this one that we're starting now is literally just a synopsis of the show for every single week, and just like the show, it's always going to be free. So.
Yeah. We're thinking it'd be fun to let us know what you would find valuable in like a I don't know a $2 newsletter or whatever. And we were talking about it. We were thinking we've got everybody at Faceless Labs who does really great work. Joe makes excellent DeFi tutorials. We thought that would be something worth making premium. Having like max token picks, like just a segment that is literally a box of what is Mac Lorden bought, sold, or thought about this week. I'd pay $2 for that kind of thing. So there's other stuff though.
I talked to Mac about it yesterday too. So he's gonna probably try to join us tomorrow for the close out the week, and we'll do another preview snapshot, and then all of the stuff that he talks about publicly on Twitter and TikTok. That can go into the free version. Of this too. And I mean, we need to do this for months and months anyway before we approach a premium one. That would just be more of a sometime in the future sort of thing. So don't even think about that. But we'll put some Mac tips and picks and stuff, whatever he's currently reading into or looking at or interested by or whatever, in this one too. So he's stoked to throw some shit in there.
Awesome. My update from GPT is that I fed GPT the entire cold stack contract and got a really helpful answer back. It told me a breakdown of each of the 7 parts of the contract, and it was a lot of stuff I already knew. But if you didn't know this, like it would be really helpful. It did not, however, have any specific apparent reason for why this particular wallet got a 30% allocation. It speculated it could be that this is a wallet reserved for the token project's team, like might be vested in there to be released at a certain date, according to another part of the contract. It might be a reserve for a future liquidity pool. It could be just funding for future development. And this was interesting too when I had to send it in 2 parts, and at the very end of everything, what it said was, token allocation usually occurs during the minting process or via a totally separate allocation function or script. So there might be a separate function that is off-chain, that is not covered in this contract, that interacts with the contract to distribute tokens in a specific way. All stuff that you don't need to know. It could, if you wanted to know, guide your further inquiry. And I would say if you're really into this kind of stuff, my favorite person to follow would be Zach, ZACHXBT. They're on Twitter, and they're my favorite because they are great at reading the Blockchain Explorer, and they make it like a whodunit. They regularly, somebody said, Zach XBT got more receipts than CVS. They are constantly looking at hacks, exploits, the wallets of interesting people to break down what happened and share it in a very compelling, interesting, simple way. Super fun if you like to learn and entertain yourself at the same time.
Yeah, that's
I will find the exact handle and maybe I can type it in the chat below. I think it's just Zach XBT. Let me see.
what's Ethereum's all-time high?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just sitting here realizing that Ethereum is like really knocking on the door of $4,000 right now.
Yeah. Somebody who won Crypto the Game and got 90 ETH a couple days ago when that amount was like $100,000 is now, like almost a half a millionaire kind of thing. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it's the all-time high is 4,800. So we got 20% to go.
My gosh.
It is funny though. I mean, this dip was like such a non-dip. It wasn't.
Did you
even
see that chart Mihir posted? Was it Mihir or was it someone else? About we're going all the way back to 12.
Yeah.
From some guy who's called it.
Dude, there's every time the price dips by 5%, there's always someone who's just like, next up, 12K. And then you look back at this and you're like, oh, weird. It's less than 24 hours later and every single number is green again. Like, go figure. Incredible.
Yeah. What am I missing in the comments? It looks like everybody's having a party. Oh, Millie wants a dog update. How's every dog doing?
They're good. It's raining, so they're all terrified and trying not to melt. So they're all going to hide inside all day, and I'm going to have to force them out into the rain. Except for Phoebe. Phoebe likes the rain. She's good outside.
Real quick reminder that for everybody asking about recordings, we record these episodes and we upload them to our YouTube channel, which is Faceless_Labs. They all go on the Rise Up Morning Show playlist. And the way we tend to categorize them, each week we've tried to have a theme to help kind of organize the content and make it easier for you to go back. You'll see there's Web3 101, part 1 through 4, blockchain gaming, or I think it's called Gaming Week, part 1 through 4. And so this week, I don't know what the hell I'm going to call it, because we started by talking about meme tokens, then we launched a meme token, then Bitcoin hit its all-time high, and now here we are just looking through the Blockchain Explorer. This is like the bag of stuff you need to know before we set you out on your own adventure, quester into the wild kind of thing week.
Pretty much.
But yeah, absolutely. And so expect more of that too. Our magician Mihir is absolutely going to make that content more watchable. And I swear to God, TikTok is going to give us an OBS key so we can just do it all from StreamYard and put it live everywhere. I'm manifesting it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I can text Josh and ask him if he had to do something special to get his, or if it's just a follower thing or a view thing.
Yeah, and I honestly, just like I have to finish going through all my portfolios and cleaning things up, I need to go back into TikTok Creator Studio or whatever and see if there's a way to apply for it.
Yeah.
Because I would, and then we could get it.
I think they'll give it to you. I think we just need to figure out how to acquire it.
How to acquire it. Today on the quest. Okay, so this is my day where I have a hard stop at 8:30. So I would like to ask you, my friend, will you explain what you teased in the beginning? Because I think that would be a nice little bite-sized nugget. We talked earlier about how important the metric of liquidity is. So let's talk about fully diluted versus circulating. Because when you're scrolling through TikTok, you're going to see influencers talk about tokenomics. They're going to tell you how market cap doesn't matter, or they're going to say supply doesn't matter, or whatever. Everybody thinks this matters and this doesn't matter. For us, for our money, the thing that matters is liquidity. And when you're talking about supply, there is a big important difference between fully diluted supply and circulating supply. So to recap, liquidity is the amount of money that is in the pot, in the contract for people to take out to turn their tokens back into dollars. In the case of something like Shiba Inu, where or a younger meme token, where you might have $1 billion worth of tokens, but there's only $100,000 of liquidity, you're not really a billionaire. Is it possible to be a billionaire on paper? Yeah, but if you can't withdraw money because there's nothing in the contract, that's bad news bears.
That was
So you need to know that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You need to know that metric so that you can understand how viable your dollar is, your crypto asset is. And we were looking at it. Are you on Dex Tools again, Alex? Is that what this is?
No, this is CoinGecko. I was going to do fully diluted and circulating supply.
Please do. Yeah. Unless there's anything else you think needs to be said about liquidity, I just wanted people to have a recap because I know some of them weren't here.
No, I think we can do both of these real quick. We can relook at both of these.
This one will be easy.
So, super quick. Oh, come here. Okay. This is
Alex
XRP.
is doing the wiggle.
Oh, my gimbal battery is dead, and I'm an idiot and didn't plug it in yesterday. So we're using the janky little phone tripod today. Okay, so this is XRP, the coin you love to hate, and here is its current market cap, $33.1 billion, pretty significant. The fully diluted valuation right underneath it. And in case you didn't see, this is CoinGecko. CoinGecko has a profile for every cryptocurrency, or pretty much every cryptocurrency. The 5-minute-old meme coin on your favorite blockchain is not going to be on CoinGecko, but
and fun fact that that there was a token launcher, I think that Daniel sent me, the Pink Sale or whatever, that has launched 22,000 projects. You know how we always say like there are 10,000 projects on CoinGecko? There are 22,000 on the Solana blockchain on Pink Sale alone. So what's that tell you?
CoinGecko currently has 13,000 projects indexed. The other thing I like to say is like, Evan, name every cryptocurrency exchange you can think of. And I bet you Evan could probably name quite a few, but could you name that many? Because that's how many CoinGecko is tracking.
Oh my God.
All right. Anyway, fully diluted valuation. That is, quite simply, if every single token that could exist or that does exist of XRP was on the market at its current price, the market cap would be, as you can see here, $60.5 billion. So twice what it is now. Okay? And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. Here we can see, so I'm going to kind of keep swiping back and forth, underneath the 24-hour trading volume, which for right now we don't care about, circulating supply. And there are 54,664,031,281 tokens on the market right now. Right underneath it, this 100, just shy of 100 billion is the total supply. Okay, that's how many exist. Total supply.
Alex, listen, man, I'm going to help you out.
Thank you. Why is it in light mode, Evan? I'm blind.
Because I'm an absolute psychopath. This
You
is
are
the desktop, bro.
An absolute savage. All right. Perfect. Okay, so let's line us up here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. This is fucking teamwork right here, in case anyone's wondering.
Don't make me laugh. It'll shake the video.
All right. So basically, all we're seeing from this is that of the total possible supply of XRP tokens, about half of them are currently on the market. And if the other half came onto the market and the price didn't move, the market cap would double. Okay? So basically what this means is you can some people will look at this figure and they'll factor it into their determination of whether or not this is a viable investment, because if the circulating supply is just a small percentage
of the total supply, that means that at some point, a shitload more of these tokens could be introduced to the market, which would drastically increase the supply. And if the demand cannot meet that increase in supply, what happens to price when supply far outweighs demand? Price
Down
go down.
big time.
Yeah, and as you can see here, red. But just something to keep in mind. There is no magic number for like, well, if it's 80% circulating or 60% circulating, then all of a sudden we're good. It's basically just something good for you to keep in mind. And Evan, as you can see on Evan's screen right there, there's a little tooltip next to each one of these. So if you don't remember, the definition of whatever, just highlight the tooltip and it should give you a little explanation of exactly what we're looking at there. So there's a good explanation of what is market cap, what is FDV, fully diluted valuation, what is circulating supply, etc.
Yeah,
now,
super helpful.
Let's pop back over to Dex Tools really quick.
Dex Tools. This video is not sponsored by Dex Tools, but it absolutely could be. If you want to get on-chain information that is easier to read than a blockchain explorer that pulls from a blockchain explorer and is verified in real time by all kinds of user activity, then it's a great aggregator. I recommend it highly. Whatever blockchain you're trying to look up information on, they've got a really great dashboard.
Okay, so here's Dex Tools. You can use it we're looking at the Solana blockchain right now. And here is some little junk project. Okay, don't care about which one it is. All we're interested in here is this little snapshot, this little overview right here. So the market cap of this teeny tiny little project is $334,000, but the liquidity is only $45,000. So here's where this comes into play. Yesterday, I saw on Twitter somebody describing another meme coin gamble that they had done, and they said they put in 2 SOL and now it was worth $60,000 or something. But the available liquidity for the project in question right here was $1,700. So yes, on paper, they may possess the tokens that equal 60,000 US dollars of total quote unquote value. But the only number that matters here is there enough liquidity to support you selling that? And in that case, the answer is no. So if I held a bunch of these tokens to the point where it was worth $100,000 on paper, which is possible, but there's only $45,000 of liquidity, I cannot sell $100,000. There is not enough money in the pool for me to cash out all of that. And you'll see that a lot. Someone will hold up a bag of meme coins that on paper says it's worth $10 million. And then you go look at the liquidity for whatever project they're talking about, and it's like 60 grand. So never would they actually be able to realize any of that value. It's value exclusively on paper. It means nothing. So just keep that in mind. If you are getting, seduced by the absolute onslaught of content right now showing you some guy who made 600 grand on a meme coin, you can always go look up the liquidity available for any of these projects and just keep in mind that that is the maximum amount of money that can be withdrawn from this project. And that means if all 978 of these holders decided they wanted to sell, they're all going to share 45.9 grand. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Liquidity is what matters. Market cap does not matter.
Very helpful. Angel, I am looking at this product you asked about, Node Synapse, a new GPU product. And I got to tell you, I don't, just as I'm looking at it, I don't know about it. I would love to look into it more for you, but I think it might be something we have to push to tomorrow because I got to go. And when I go, I'm going to rug the whole space. I'm sorry to say. Right. So let's get these trailing questions. Let's get some final thoughts and then come back tomorrow because we always have good questions. Your mom has a good question. Is Dex Tools the only place to see liquidity? No. There are a lot of places. You can see this just about any place. Not everybody displays it as prominently. Um, Alex, can you think of any others? I feel like Lunar Crush, which is mostly social,
Yeah.
would also tell you liquidity. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like there are chain specific
Yep.
aggregators or explorers.
Yeah. Token Sniffer probably has a liquidity
Token
display.
Sniffer. Yeah, and Token
Um,
Sniffer also has a really good contract checking tool. Like if we, there are a couple of these. Token Sniffer is just one of many. All of these are just one of many. We're at the point in the market where nobody is the Google yet, except maybe Coinbase.
mhm.
If Alex saw Cold Stack and was like, Evan doesn't have the time to search out this contract, and I see it's not audited by anyone on the Blockchain Explorer, I could go to Token Sniffer and paste the contract address, just copy it, paste it, and it would tell me, hey, something seems out of place here, or no, this looks pretty standard. But yeah, Dex Tools is great.
Cold Stack market cap 370 or 3.74 million, 1.18 million in liquidity, which is pretty decent, but just goes to show there's always a difference between market cap and liquidity. So if you hold $2 million worth of the market cap in CLS, you will not be able to sell for that amount. So all you need to do if you want to look up the liquidity, just like a blockchain explorer, dextools.io, you can switch whatever network you're looking at. So if I open this up, I can see all of the blockchains that they catalog, that they index. Pick the one that it contains the project you're trying to figure out. Avalanche, for example. And then you can scroll through available pairs and you can get how much liquidity there is and all that sort of stuff. So like, it'll all be displayed right there.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned slippage and negative transfers, and this is something you're going to see when you're trading tokens that have low liquidity on a DeFi platform mostly. Like a lot of the tokens you're trading on Coinbase will not have this problem, but if you're on maybe Uniswap or PancakeSwap, oh, hey buddy, then you will see this. You see the price tag says $1, and you go to the checkout, and then it's like, well, now the price is $1.2. Well, now the price is 80 cents. And it's happening like second to second to second. Slippage is the tolerance, the amount of slippage, literally, in the price you're willing to accept between the time you click buy and the time the sale processes. And with some meme coins, because the liquidity, a $10 move in liquidity could really change the token price if there's only $100 in the pool. And so you have to accept a certain amount of loss or extra gain before your transaction goes through.
Yep.
So and a negative transfer, it's not as commonly used a term. I'm honestly not as familiar with what it like specifically means in your context, but I imagine it would mean if there's a bug in the contract code, if the contract has a rule that it can deduct tokens, when there's not enough liquidity, you get like bonus freebie tokens. I'd be interested to know more about that, but that could hypothetically happen. Alex, we melted some brains today, man, including maybe mine. I actually feel quite awake.
Mine. Yes, including mine.
Do you have what do you think? Last minute disclaimers, good jokes, words of wisdom, asks, shout outs, prayers?
No, I think we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place to close out the week, and hopefully give you some updated information about what to expect next week with regards to signing up for the newsletter and all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely. Until then, my friends, rise up.